inside your own comment is a pure example of why it is important that we continue to learn history and see the trends and the connections from the past that exist today and how it all, one, affects each other and is interacting. Just because it happened 100 years ago doesn't mean that it's not important. You put this comment up on my Rutherford episode where I talk about how a candidate who does not win the popular vote, does not win the electoral vote, it's tied, gets into the presidency through a backroom deal where he ends Reconstruction, gets rid of the federal forces that are remaining in the South, and immediately afterwards, South Carolina elects a white supremacist. One day after the military leaves, a white supremacist is elected to office, institutes his terrorist red shirt organization that rains holy hell and terror down on the black community that still existed in South Carolina. On top of all of that, it enters into the Jim Crow era, which lasts into a century, and that doesn't technically end until the Civil Rights Act, which is also bullshit because it's still going on today. You got things where they like the unjust and over-policing of minority communities, unjust and over-arrests of minority individuals. Why is that important? You say slavery doesn't exist anymore. We're all free, and we're all free under the equal rights of the law. So what does it matter? You can still be a slave if it's a punishment for incarceration. So why do you think the police are going after poor brown people? Open up your head. If you don't think that matters, take a look at the Tuskegee experiment that were going on by our federal government and what they were doing to our minority community, black community, over syphilis tests. Look it up. Look up the war on drugs and how it disproportionately affects minority communities. Or, I don't know, maybe the fact that the CIA smuggled those drugs in specifically to those minority communities to keep them downtrodden with a boot of oppression on their necks. Maybe that's still interconnected, and you're sitting there and you're talking about the touting, the thing that all whiteys like to do when we talk about slavery. Oh, well, what about indentured servitude? First off, you can hate both things. You can hate indentured servitude and you can hate slavery. They're both bad systems. But on top of that, you say, oh, my immigrant, white Anglo-Protestant relatives had to go into indentured servitude into California to escape the Dust Bowl. No, the fuck they didn't. Indentured servitude was outlawed in 1865 with the 13th Amendment, so they didn't go into indentured servitude. I have talked at length about company towns before, and I have talked about immigration and how Irish people were mistreated. A lot of those videos, unfortunately, also stem into union activity, like anti-railroad, or the railroad strikes, or the coal miner strikes, and how the Pinkertons slaughtered them all. And you guys don't typically like that because you're like, oh, unions are bad, and we can't have, people shouldn't own their rights to their labor. So when I do talk about immigrant issues of the poor immigrant class, you get mad because I'm talking about how they were fighting to gain equal rights. It's all connected.